Hello and welcome. This is Diana and you are watching Holistic Vibes. I'm just going to throw some cards, see what comes out. These are specifically like for helping train like psychic abilities, intuition, gaining insight, right? Oh, there's a lot. Okay, so somebody may be looking for symbols. If you have found yourself like spinning in the living room, trying to access like other information, know that that is an old Sufi tradition, and a lot of other gypsies and stuff, Indians, transcendental like meditation through the velocity of like shifting your consciousness, right? And so it's nothing new. We've been doing it through tons of lifetimes, and you may find yourself doing that, right? Like make sure you're accessing or asking your guides for insight, symbols, colors, thought forms, right? Like journal things down like after it comes through. Allow yourself that openness of just kind of expanding, and as you're doing it, pushing the heart center out consciously, right? Getting out of the mind, getting into the heart, and asking for soul's guidance. Like it's very, very important in regards to like wherever you are in this rebirthing process, to nurture yourself, right? For those of you that there's a rose meditation on here, and it's an axis of clairvoyance. I'm just seeing because it's different than what I do, right? So it's kind of saying, oh, if the rose is open, it means happy, security, content. And in all honesty, like I'm going to tell you what I do, and then like you guys can take it from where you want to. Somebody's been impeding your astral realm, right? Or you've been traveling outside of your realm as a form of protection. If you haven't accessed your spirit guides yet, you can do a hedge of protection like before you go to sleep, and you can put roses or lilies or sunflowers, some kind of a flower in closed form, right? And so it's literally in bud form. And then as you come back in and you start waking up in the morning, one of the checks you do is you look at your bud form to see if your bud has been expanded and it's been fully opened, right? And that is going to, number one, see if your energy is attempting to be impeded. You can cut cords, you can clear the energy, you can put it in a sack and then blow it up in like space. You can ask your guide to dispose of it. If you don't know your gatekeeper, you can definitely, that's something I would look into. Oh, that's a cute dog. The pendulum, remember, like when you're working with different items, right? This is a pendulum, and this is also a different variation of a pendulum, right? And so both clear quartz. And so like you can work with whatever stone you want. I have another one that's like red jasper, and another one that's like lapis lazuli, and then I have like a gold and silver, whatever. And then you want to like work with the energy and asking questions. It's part of your insight. But just know that like if you're vibrating in a low vibration and you start doing this kind of stuff, like you're going to attract lower vibrational energies to you. So it's very important that you do like armor with the armor of God, that you do offer balance within self, that you are like working on the controllable things that you can work on. Is anything else? Is there anything else that I'm supposed to? Yeah, there's something about like you playing in your soul's guidance. That is the determining factor. I don't know. Yeah, empowerment from illusions and a remember. It's a new life. There's no regrets. So understand, like, in order to, you're going to start seeing ladybugs too. Your connections are also going to change. If those of you that have been pushed in a grand scale out of your old reality, right? Like you lost your job, like you had to move, you broke up with somebody, like you were diagnosed with a health condition. Like there are these major factors that are like taking place that are essentially dissolving old, or maybe that's the old stuff that you went through, like over the last 7 years, you've been like unpacking this stuff, right? Into a brand new life. And it's all about like you remembering consciously what paradigm and timeline do you want to live in, right? If you feel stuck, if you feel murky, if you are not living your best fucking life, like ask yourself, like, what is it in my ego that is not allowing me to like be more outgoing, or to live with no regrets, or to play more, right? Where is the ego trying to keep you out of your own empowerment, right? And dissolve those limitations and those illusions, and do it in a way where you're giving homage to the journey that you took, right? Because you couldn't have taken those energies, that entity, no. Here's the thing, right? Is like when we start our journeys, most of us don't realize that alcohol has an open gateway for entity attachments. If you're a channeler, if you're a healer, if you're a light energy, if you are an indigo, if you're a crystalline, like when you drink, like entities jump in your body. You do stuff where you're like, yo, that was not me last night, right? Like it's just what happens. It's part of the process. And so like the thing is that is part of the evolutionary back to yourself, right? And so like you had to go through all of these things, understand that, yeah, you did have entities. They were controlling your emotions. You were very impulsive and responsive, or you took it all and you internaled everything and you like beat yourself up, right? But it wasn't you beating yourself up for the sake of the loop. It was you beating yourself up because you had entities attached to the emotions, which accelerated the mind, right? When your mind, body has been cluttered with tons of entities, it takes you out of a state of awareness, of understanding, of like growth. And so like as you're nurturing yourself and going through this growth phase, work with your gifts and abilities. And I'm getting somebody out there can speak to dead past loved ones, past energies. Some people can speak to like souls that have yet to incarnate. Like it's kind of like speaking to like the babies that are coming in into the birthing cycles. You're able to do that. And so like get into a state where you're in flow, where you're in trance, where you're playing, and allow that to come through, because it's going to be very empowering as you start dissolving these old illusions that were passed on to you. And what you're doing is as you're doing it, you're helping lay new coding into the earth's grids of a higher state of being, right? That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize is like each person doing an individual work, you're a pin on a map, right? And if you're a condensed, they're stupid, right? And they're stupid in regards to the fact of thinking that yes, they're putting everybody in these cities and combining them for a piece of control. But if you flip the script and you look at it as a city where everybody is in a condensed area with utilizing a higher mind, right? then the hive body changes. They are using it as it's a form of fear, and it's condensed of like, this is the only area you can get work. This is the only area where you can live. And the flip is actually happening, right? More people are coming into their heart center to consciousness, looking at a way to choose a higher timeline. Like more and more people are coming online at like this rapid rate. And this birth of this new consciousness is kind of evolving. And it's not about, like your lower chakras, right? It's like you living in like God's light, like you choosing a higher timeline, being a better person. Like, and by you doing this, you're balancing like your own duality within self, and then you're accessing your gifts. It's kind of like they're showing me it's a stepping stone, and each step has brought you to the point you are now. And, like truly, like stop living in a state of regret. And every time regret gets triggered in you, or lack thereof, or an inability to progress forward like the way that you desire, right? Like if your life is lacking abundance, or if your life is lacking love, like they're trying to accentuate those things. But in actuality, like you are love. Like you were born with love in your heart. And like that, in connection with the Creator, is really all you need. It's like, it's funny because it's like I keep seeing like they tried to isolate you, they tried to bury you, they didn't know you were a lotus, they tried to like take away your work, and they didn't realize like you are the work. When you go out into the world, like by you being out in the world, you're actually doing work. By you looking people in the eyes, you're planting the seed of acknowledgement. You're planting the seed of awakening. There is nothing and nothing outside of you that can stop you from evolving and helping people. And the thing is like everything that these people tried to do to keep you from nurturing yourself, all it did was it brought you back to like how you realize that you've been doing God's work from the very get. And you can sit still and sit place and not do anything, right? But like in the end, like after you've learned that lesson, you then go on and continue on to the next lesson. And so it's like, regardless of how they were trying to like do these roadblocks for you, like it's kind of like they're showing me you've always been like 100,000 steps ahead of them. And it's, you've already been there. You've already done that. You've already seen that lifetime. So it's not that you didn't see the misgivings and the negativity of the people that were impeding you. It's that you allowed them to make their own karma, right? And so like, I think what it is it's like activating the inner knowing within you that, hey, this is your story, is the only reason why I'm going into that. And it's to reiterate the fact that like the illusions and what you remember in past lives is essentially only going to empower you to live without a blockade or a need for acceptance. It's just, it is what it is. You see what you see, you are where you are. And it's like when you live with that clear and concise like layout of self, like then nobody can come in and say, oh, well, you need to be more like this. Well, oh, you should be like that. It's like, no, I am who I am. I am where I am. And it is what it is, right? It's you're not adapting to a situation. You're then causing your environment to adapt to you. And it's a totally different ball game at that point, right? Because you're not looking to impress people. You don't, they're just saying like it's you don't need from others. Like you are there to help others evolve in the way that you need to help them evolve. Like you offer soul's guidance to them, but it's not your job to conform to meet the masses. A true shaman, a true high priestess, a true hierophant does not meet the masses. They just keep the energy and the information in relevance to what will help the masses grow, right? Because in the end, a true shaman isn't there to make energy see a potential in something else, right? It's there to lay the information and allow the individual that is open for the preparation to see the information, right? They also, like, I think that's a different message, guys. Yeah, somebody's trying to, like, hijack the reading. They want me to tell you something about the astral projection. I don't know. I'll show you it, but I'm not keeping it. It says this is your life's purpose. It's almost ready to rip, too. What about the astral projection? Decide to be happy now. Remember, just because you're playing in the astral realm does not mean you don't need to ground yourself. Isis, Ganesh, Thoth, retreat into nature, Green Man, and Lady Nada, wife, mother, daughter, sister. Yeah, always get into nature as much as you can. If you can get out into the sun, like get out into the sun. Start making connections, not only to just the environment, but also the planet. Like, build the bond with the trees. Ask the trees to sway with you. Ask the animals to come to you, right? And I would say, like, start journaling, like, what does this new life look like for you? And, like, over the next 7 days, consistently, like, rewrite the same thing. Like, how do you want to feel in the morning? What do you want to experience? How do you want to impact? And then act as if it's already done, right? Like, if you, it's that whole thing, like, they're showing me that whole, like, what is it, like 4 Minute Mile or whatever, or like, yeah, I think it's like a 4 Minute Mile, where the guy like tried and then one guy broke it, and then all of a sudden everybody else was like, oh, well, since he did it, I can do it too, right? And that's kind of what they're showing me. I don't know what that has to do. Maybe you are discovering new aspects of astral traveling, or protection, or recall. I don't know. That's something that you're going to have to dive a little bit more into. I am going to leave that there. If something in this resonated with you, please comment, like, subscribe, and share. And until next time, be well. Ciao.